Good evening. Well, it's Friday night, and I'm out here playing around with the Mustang. Nothing else to do. All right. Now I have the control module, dual spark is what Ford calls it, but this is the ignition control module. Have it mounted. We got the solenoid all hooked up. Our battery ground cable, I just got it wrapped up so it won't scratch nothing. I haven't put the hot side on yet. The solenoid's wired up, starter's wired up. And I also went ahead and temporarily mounted the coil, ignition coil here. This is where it's going to sit. It won't sit anywhere else on the intake, because if I put it over here, it's going to face the carburetor, and this Holly has the fuel line that comes down and straight to the back. So now I just got to wire the distributor, which here's the plug here, and I'm believing that as far as the color code goes, this has the yellow, green, and black, and looks like a purple with blue stripes. And I'm believing this plugs over, let's see, that's 3 prongs. Thought I had it figured out here. Let's see, it's another plug. Okay, here's one here. Got that electric grease stuff on there. This is green, yellow, blue, black with a green. This one's a 4 prong. So I'm thinking this one might plug here, because you have your yellow. Well, that's the 3 prong. Here you got your purple, orange, green, and black with a green stripe. This is, looks like a yellow maybe. Here's your green. Here's your, looks like a blue, which that wire there is black with a blue stripe. So you got your, I'm just going to have to look at the wire diagram, but this is off of a kind of an 80s model truck setup. You can use these if you go to the junkyard and find you the harness and the coil, which it has this little snap thing that snaps the connectors on. And then this is your distributor. This engine is out of a 75 model Ranchero, so it had that kind of control module, which I have, but the back of it looked like it's melted. So anyway, let me check out the wire diagram again, and then we'll hook it all up and I'll show you that. So after doing some research, I was able to wire up So I did some reading, and they were saying the black wire on your distributor plug, some people say you ought to ground it, but I didn't. Some say you do, some say you don't. So we're going to try it without it. Alright, so we got a battery, now we just got to hook the cable up. Let's just see if it turns on. We got to turn it over. Now let's see if we got spark. We got a spark plug sitting right here. You guys right here by it. Let's see if it's. Oh, I heard something. I don't know what that was. Let's see if we got any spark going on here. Anything? I couldn't tell. Of course, I'm way back here. I don't see any spark. So, either the control module I have is bad, or we really need to ground distributor. So what I'm going to do, I have another module. Let's plug it up and see what it does. And then we'll see if it's got any fire. So I got the other control module I have hooked up. Let's see what we got now. And we got spark. You guys see that? It has spark. Surprise, surprise. Pour a little gas in it, and she did want to crank up. So, just want to do one thing extra, because I won't be able to sleep. So anyway, that's it, guys. Holler. So now we are fitting the power steering pump on, and I made a boo-boo. I actually dismantled this power steering pump, which this is the 351 Cleveland 302 power steering pump, and I thought it would fit onto the 400, but it won't, because you got to have this bracket, because when you go to put that pump on, the bolt that goes through it doesn't line up with this bolt here. So I'm having to use the 400. I think this is on the 351 modifieds and 400 power steering pump setup. I can actually use the pump off of the bracket, but I can't use the bracket. I gotta use this bracket, which I gotta do some checking to make sure that the power steering line is going to hook up, and also got to put a belt on there to make sure when this thing adjusts out, it's not going to hit the frame, which there's a little clearance there, and I won't be too far out of adjustment. I mean, I can get a shorter belt, there's no problem, but I'm gonna have to clean this bracket up, get it off of this pump, which is 2 pieces. This one has some studs that comes off the main bracket that holds your mounting bracket. And I'm gonna have to use this bracket here, which I just painted up and I scratched it up, testing it. I should have really checked it out first, but anyway, I'm gonna get that broken down and we'll get sandblasted. Alright, so we're going to get ready to pull this power steering pulley off for the belt. I've already got the bracket loose here, which I'm going to sandblast. This thing got a lot of holes in it. I think it was meant that way for different engines and different applications. Ford had a thing with different brackets through the years to fit the same engine, but some of them just had different setups. So what we need to do now is pull this pulley off, and I got my power steering pump pulley puller. I'm going to set it up like that. So you can pick one of these up from Harbor Freight or local auto parts store. I think I got this thing from Harbor Freight years ago. They're not that expensive. Or if you get on Facebook Marketplace, you might find someone selling their tools. Run up on one for a couple bucks. So we're gonna blast this thing off. Better get a glove. This is a lot of vibration. So see if I can get a glove on. Because that sucker vibrates pretty hard. And I'm going to move you guys too. Because I don't want the tripod to fall, all this vibration going on. So. Hate to have to pull this thing back apart, but pull this one apart anyway. Ooh. Probably should use a wrench instead of a pressure wrench. Slowly pulling it off, but it's coming. vibration there. There. Now pull this off. Now we gotta get this bracket here off, which it has a nut on the back side. Take it all the way off. Take that down. Well, I guess you have to take it all the way off. Socket. Okay. Now we got that bracket off. So this out quick. So now what we're going to do is go over to the Mighty Sandblaster, and we're going to go ahead and sandblast these pieces, get all the rust and old paint off of them, and get them ready to be painted, and get the bracket off the other power steering pump. So further ado, let me put these in the sandblaster and then we'll get to work. Now we got the pieces sandblasted. I'm going to go over them with the wire wheel on my grinder and kind of knock off some of the stuff I couldn't get off, but they're pretty much clean of paint and dirt. So get those cleaned off, we'll get those in primer, and we'll shoot them with some black, and we'll get them mounted on the other pump. But first I got to remove the other pulley and bracket off of this pump here. So I'll get it in there and we'll take that pump off of this bracket and have it all ready for the new bracket to go on the pump. So, but after that, then we'll work on something else. So we'll get back to it. Okay, now I got the bracket painted, nice gloss painted, let it dry, sit in front of the kerosene blower, and I'm going to put the pulley back on. So this involves using a special tool to press it back up on there, and which mine froze up, so I had to make one. In this kit it has this little spinner bearing thing, and what it does is when you put it had this little stud thing you could stick in there. I just made one out of a regular bolt, but what it did with this washer here, you would put it up on there like that, and then as you tighten down on the stud, it'll spin this inner part but push at the same time. And I've used it so many times and it froze up, so I had to make something work. I'm pretty sure if you guys go out and buy a kit, you'll see what I mean. So what I did, I just took a long bolt, cut the head off of it. I double nutted it so I can get it back out. So in reality, what it does, you will screw this through here into the shaft. Let's take this off first. You might want to clean your threads out first before you try and screw in there. I think it's just a standard bolt size or stud, threads. So I had just put that on there, and it does the same thing. You want to make sure your pulley's nice and lined up on that shaft. Hopefully I got enough threads. You want to make sure it's started in there pretty good, because it'll pull back out. So, took a pair of vice grips to hold it. I think I used some pliers last time. So as you're turning this nut in here, it's pushing I don't know if you can see it, but it's pulling itself back up on there. Now what I did, that shaft is really supposed to be sticking out of the pulley almost a little past flush. I don't know if you can see that, but see if I get you a closer look. You can barely see the shaft coming through the pulley. Well, you want it just to stick just barely out of the pulley, because if you get it up on there too far or not enough, it'll throw your belts out of line. So I hate to scratch up the paint, but you can always back it back off. Barely coming out of there. Being I've had this off before, it's real easy. Tight. Just about to come through. I would like to get it up on there a little more, but I'm going to have to use, I think what I did last time, I had to use the little spinner thing, because the shaft actually goes through it. But we can still use it though. It's almost through. I don't want to get it too far. Probably going to have to use impact now. I think my battery's getting low on the see what she looks like now. almost through, just a tad bit more. She will be on there. There she is. Kind of went a little bit too far, but it's hard to judge. But I can always pull it back off. It's kind of sticking out a little bit too far. But I can use the tool to bring it back out a little bit. That back out. Last time I had to double nut it to get it out because I took some vice grips and got it up in there. As you can see, it's a little bit out too far. So I can use my tool to bring it back out a tad. I remember how it was at first. It wasn't, it was just barely sticking out at the end of the pulley. That's how I want to keep it. So put this thing back in. That. This is 5/8. Vice grips. Turn it in. Not too far. She needs to come out some more. I did take some filler gauges the first time. Put behind there. Check it. Spun it off. There she is. Just barely sticking out at the end of the pulley. Almost flush, but that's the way it was. So we're good there. So now we're going to put the adjustment bracket back on, and we're going to put it back on the car, and we're going to see how the hose hook up on the back of it. So now we have the correct power steering pump on. I've been playing around with the fuel pump. I had this nice chrome new fuel pump on here from Summit, and I couldn't get the fuel lines to run right with it. I put all these different fittings in it, so I ended up putting the factory one back on, and I was able to get the fuel line to run like it did before, but actually this engine had a Edelbrock carburetor on it. Now it has a Holly, so I'm going to have to redo the fuel line situation here. I don't like the way this sticks up so high. I mean, even if you put the air conditioning bracket on, you probably won't see it. But then it's all over here where your strip of the cap and plug wires are. So I'm thinking about just cutting it off down low, and then I'm going to run the fuel line from here around the water neck and then down to here. Just kind of keep it hidden and out of the way. This right here just looks tacky to me. I mean, even if I put the hose on like that, it sticks up too high. But I'm actually run the factory style fuel pump. I can't get the fuel lines the direct where I want them to go because of this bracket here. So at least the right pump and everything is on it, and we'll get a belt on it, get it adjusted out and stuff like that. So we're moving along. I was able to hook up the brake vacuum hose here that goes to the intake. I was able to come up with one of those, and now we have the double fuel line for the Holly hooked up. So we're waiting on to get the fuel line run from the fuel pump, like I said. So moving slowly but surely, just finding out stuff that I need to change. So we'll just keep moving on and try and get this baby to fire up and run on fuel. All right, fuel pump bolts in. Should have put the bottom bolt in first. Oop. Things under a lot of pressure. We'll get her tight now. Tighten the fuel pump. Bottom one. Let me get a 1/4 inch ratchet socket. I think we can tighten this one. Maybe not. Think the bolts ain't long enough? They really are. We'll get it with the ratchet. Oop. I think that ratchet's about had it, folks. Cheater pipe on her or something. There we go. Fuel pump's on. Now we can put our line on. So what I'm going to do, we got hose clamps somewhere. So we're going to find them. going to put this hose on here. Then we're going to put the power steering pump on. Then I'm going to judge where I'm going to put the fuel filter at. Oh, first we got to run our hose from here to there. So I'll just go ahead and do the fuel pump up here on the, hooking the hose up to the carburetor. Go ahead and do that now. And we got it up here, and we got to figure out. I'm guessing I'm going to put the fuel pump right about here, maybe middle ways, and then we'll come up and wrap around the distributor over to the carburetor. It's probably just going to be a temporary thing until I put the air conditioning pump on. Right now I'm just wanting to get it where it's run off of fuel and it's running, so we'll probably redo all that anyway. So let's get a piece of hose to run from the carburetor, from the fuel pump to the body, to the hose. I'm pretty sure I blew those lines out before, so what I'm going to do, just spray a little air through there. Metal tube. Shouldn't be any old fuel in it or trash, but just to be safe, I'm gonna spray some air through it anyway. Stick a rag or something up there. I hear it blowing out in the back. Let's go see if anything came out. I think it has. Should be dry. There's right there. I think it's pretty much dry. There's nothing coming out of there. Should be good to go. So, how about we fix up this fuel line going over to the carburetor. Well, I'm sorry. The fuel line going to the fuel pump. That's what we got to do first. So I'm going to cut a little piece off here. Measure across. Hopefully that works out pretty good. Had to get some clamps. trying to look at the angle of that hose there. I want that angle to be. I'm gonna have to go up under the power steering pump. I hate to waste hose. I believe so go like that. Could put the filter here in line, but it might be rubbing on back of the power steering pump. So I would rather put it where I can see the fuel going through. So let me get something to cut that hose. Cut this hose right about here. I would like to leave a little slack just in case I need to move it. Let's say right about there. Hose go up on there like that. I want a little slack in it. So let's get some clamps. Alright. Sorry about that. Put a clamp on this end. Tighten it down. Now we need to put something really, hopefully, there'll be enough slack in there where the pump won't hit it. I think it'll be alright. Hose clamp. I'm gonna turn it upside down. Just like that. Roll that around like that. Alright, now the power steering pump. Put it on there. Screws. Pump's not light. Make sure that hose ain't rubbing the pump, which is good. It's got clearance, so that's good. We gotta put the hose on the back of the pump. Well, we're gonna have to take the oil filter off, get to it. back of the pump. Make this work. Man, that fitting is slippery. That is just going to be perfect. Right over the oil filter. Let me show you guys what's going on. So I got the line on the back of the power steering pump right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's right on the back right there. It's right by the oil filter, which I think is going to clear. I can just swivel it around. It's kind of hard to see down there, but everything's going to be clear to manifold. And then this hose here, this is the return line, is going to go to this one right here on my finger is there. So anyway, let me finish getting that hooked up, and we'll get the fuel filter installed probably around about here, and could just run the hose like that. That looks pretty. Man, that new hose, you can tell it's been rolled up. It's kind of flat, but it won't be for long. Probably just come around like that right there. Okay, so anyway, let me finish doing that. I don't want to bore you guys, and then I'll show you the finished product. All right, now we have the alternator belt on, which I need to tighten up just a tad bit. Power steering. We have our fuel line hooked up all the way up to the carburetor. We got the power steering lines hooked up back here on the back of the pump. Back there. You see that? So next is going to be putting the radiator in. I got to get some heater hoses. I forgot about the heater hoses, so I got to go get some heater hoses to run from the water pump and the block back to the heater core. I don't think I have any that long. Plus, I want to put brand new. We got to hook our vacuum advance up to the distributor, and oh, we got to put the new control module. Take that one off and get it in and hook it up. And so we're moving right along on this Thanksgiving Day. Probably gonna be cutting out pretty soon. So we'll try and pick up tomorrow and let you know what's going on. Happy Thanksgiving, guys, girls, people all around the world. I'm trying to work on the Mustang today. Don't know for sure. Know I gotta do some family time. But I did pick up a new fuel filter. This is MicroGuard 33003. It's just a plastic 3/8 clear fuel filter. And we got the new Master Pro control module, ignition control module. Brand new. This one is the 2-plug one, which this one here is a 3-plug Wells, which I found that I think Wells don't even make stuff anymore, but it don't work. It's not any good. In the last video, I had a spare one that actually cranked it up, but you can see the back of it's all melted. It fired it for a few minutes, you know, because I didn't have any gas going to it. But this is a Motorcraft one, so that's the original one there, dual spark. But I wouldn't trust that, so we're gonna go with a new one. And then on the power steering pump, I installed it on the bracket. Come to find out, I can get the bottom line to hook up on back of the pump down there. Let's see if we get some light. I can get the line to hook up on the back of the pump, but the return line here won't reach it on this pump because the fitting is actually pointing straight down. So I'm gonna have to change pumps. So the pump that goes to the Ranchero has the return line fitting pointing straight up. So I've already primered it, sanded it down, primered it, and everything. And I'm just gonna leave it flat black for now. I don't know if this pump's gonna leak anything, so but I'm gonna have to install that pump on that bracket. So I gotta take all that stuff back off. And like I said, I have to end up using I'm gonna have to go buy a new fuel pump. This thing here looks crappy. Looks like it's got oil or something. There might be bad gas coming out of it. Smell it. Oh yeah, this fuel pump's trash. I'm gonna have to use an original style fuel pump because I couldn't get the lines to hook up on this aftermarket pump from Summit. I couldn't get the lines to run the way I wanted it up behind that power steering bracket. So anyway, I gotta get a new fuel pump. So with that being said, I'm gonna try and do some of this stuff today, even though it's Turkey Day. If I can't, we'll pick up tomorrow. And if I do, I'll try and post a video today. I want to get all this stuff hooked up. I want to be able to run this thing on fuel. I was able to take the double pumper hose off. It's like a metal tube. I had to reflare the ends because I had this carburetor on the 73, but it leaked from there. So I put that carburetor I had on here on the other one. So, and also I got some brand new 3H fuel line, so I can run the fuel line from here over to the fuel pump, and then new fuel line up to the carb. And I got to drop the gas tank to put the sending unit in and put new fuel line. Let's see here. Put new fuel line where it's at, right there, going to the sending unit. So, and I want to clean the gas tank. But anyway, I'll try and get back with y'all today. If not, we'll just pick up. So we got the new fuel pump, and I have put on a line here so we can add it to our new 3H fuel line. And we got the brand new gasket. So we're going to put it on, and then we're going to get a chance to put the power steering pump on, hopefully for the final time. Start hooking the power steering lines up, and then we'll run well, for that I got to run the fuel line from the pump to here, but we can start hooking the power steering lines up. Get done with that, we got the belts, then we can put the radiator in. So let's try and do that right now. What's going on, guys? Good rainy Saturday here. We got the radiator in and installed. Radiator hoses, heater hoses, water pump connected with the fan, power steering pump with the belt adjusted, alternator belt adjusted. Just about got everything wrapped up under the hood to do the first start Now I've only heard this motor run for a few minutes. When I bought it, it was in a Rick Ranchero, which the engine had been rebuilt, and I don't think they drove it that much. So, only thing I'm working on now is putting the gas tank in, which I took it out. We put the sending unit in. See that? We got the, I'll try and get you close. We got the sending unit in. Fuel line hooked up. We got the fuel neck gasket in on the tank. This is the gasket that goes around the fuel neck. Kind of sits there. Screws down. And we got the fuel neck, which I cleaned up best as I could on the inside. Got a little surface rust. And I'm making a gasket for it. Where is the gasket? This is the gasket that slides onto it, which goes between the back panel on the car and the fuel neck. So once we get there in there, we're going to try and start this thing up. I got a few more things I got to do under the hood. When I took the spark plug wires off a long time ago, the little metal part on them broke off. So I'm going to have to try and repair that. I think it's 2 wires. I got to still tighten the power steering lines up on the steering box. Put some power steering fluid in it, transmission fluid. Fuel lines hooked up with the new fuel filter, so all that's done. And I think that's it. Put a battery in. So we'll be ready to do the first start. And we'll go from there. So, you know, I keep you posted. Let me finish that, and then we'll move on. Alright guys, here we go. The first start. Let's see what she does. Let me set you guys right here the best I can. Alright, here we go. We're going to do it. First start of the night. The first start of the night. First thing we're going to do, put some gas in these bowls. Try to fill them up a little bit. Fingers crossed. Gotta see what's up. Are we getting fuel up here? Not yet. Let's shoot it with some go-go juice. Well, actually, let's just pour some down through the carburetor. Hopefully we'll find her where we should be. For some reason we ain't fired. Well connected. Cool. Is our control module good? Possibly it could be a bad new control module. Why don't we hook up our test module again? Might have got a bad one. I don't know why, but man, this sucker won't come unplugged. let me get this unplugged and we'll go back to it. I had to end up using the other module. What happened is, on this module here, the wires are different. So, we're going to try it again. I had to use the old style module. Something. Fuel. Got no fuel up there yet. Don't want to backfire. Not getting any fuel up there. From our fuel pump. Put some more gas in it. Not getting any fuel coming up from our fuel pump in the back. Should be up there by now. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to spin it over without the coil wire hooked up. See can we get some fuel to come up here. No fuel. So, I guess we'll have to check this fuel pump, which is the new one. Why are we not getting fuel? Or we'll have to go to the back and check the sending unit. So let me go back there and check the sending unit and we'll get right back at it. So what I did, went to the back, took the fuel line off the sending unit, and I wasn't getting any fuel. I had to blow back through it and it started coming out. So now I'm gonna spin it over a little bit and we're gonna see if we got any fuel come up to the filter. I got the coil wire unhooked. Still no fuel yet. I'm wondering if that fuel pump's any good. At least we get to prime the oil pump up. Still no fuel. I'm thinking this is a bad fuel pump, even though it's new. Let's try it one more time. Nope. So, we got a fuel pump issue. So I need to pull the line off here where it comes from the tank, which is right here. And we will try and blow back through, which it should be a good fuel pump. I mean, it's new, but you never know. Might have to take it back and get another one, because we're all good here. So anyway, let's check something else. I know there's another fuel line. We got a fuel line here. So I wonder, should we pull this line off and make sure this line is clear going to the other side? So I don't remember if I checked this one or not, but that line, let's see if we can get a light on. This line here runs all the way straight across up to here, goes around and up there. So let me pull that line off and we'll see what that's got going on. All right, we got fuel. The filter was full, so we got fuel going up there. So we got fuel, so now let's see what she's gonna do. Fire? What's up with that? I know we got fuel. We got fuel, but now it seems like we ain't got fire. What's really going on? We had fire a few minutes ago. Did our used, old, crusty control module take a crap? Let's see. I don't think I got anything to spread. Sound like we might have a vacuum leak. Carburetor gasket, maybe? Like we're not pulling. We're pulling air. cords are, power steering pump started whining. So I gotta go get some more power steering fluid. Let me get some more power steering fluid and some transmission fluid, and then we will get back to it and let it run and probably put some coolant in it. So now let's see what you got to do. Got fuel, but now it seems like we ain't got fire. What's really going on? We had fire a few minutes ago. Did I use old crusty control module take a crap? Let's see. I don't think I got anything to spray it. To hit in. For some reason we're not hitting off the fuel. Sounds like we might have a vacuum leak. Carburetor gasket, maybe? Like we're not pulling. We're pulling air. pump, you know how these Fords are, power steering pumps start whining. So I gotta go get some more power steering fluid. Let me get some more power steering fluid and some transmission fluid, and then we will get back to it, let it run, and probably put some coolant in it. So I haven't added any coolant yet. I forgot that I got to hook up a manual temperature gauge. And I don't want to put any coolant in it because then I will have to drain it all back out when I take that old temperature sensor out. So what I'm going to do is at least put some transmission fluid in it, and that way we can run it a little bit. It's not up to temperature yet though. She runs after we got the fuel primed up there, and I had to change the control module back to the old one, or the crappy one, because the new one, for some reason, the purple and black wire is backwards. So I'm gonna have to go into this plug here and swap the purple and black to a different side, and then I can use the new module. Right now I just got that old dual spark module from 1968. So anyway, we will get that swapped over. We'll get a manual temperature gauge set up, and then we will get the manual oil pressure gauge set up, make sure we got oil pressure, and then get some coolant in it, and then we'll run a little bit more and go through the gears. It don't have any brakes on it. I don't think it's got as much braking. So they holding, but I would rather get it out in the driveway, probably put some blocks or something in front of it. I don't want it to run through the garage if I put it in gear with no brakes. But I think if I idle it down low enough, it would just sit still in one gear. But anyway, she runs finally after about 2 years almost. I started this project, got the engine. Well, first of all, got the car. Then we tore it apart. Then we got the engine, and then we did a lot of body work up under the hood, a lot of priming and prepping and painting. Finally got it in, and now we got it to run. So good going. So anyway, I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna let it cool off, and I might put the temperature gauge on it tonight. If I don't, we'll do it tomorrow, and I'll just shoot another video of it running with the coolant going through it and going in the gear and everything. But the power steering did start to work after I put some more fluid in it, and so it works. So anyway, that's it. So we'll see y'all later.